Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new segment that I'm calling the OpsCast. It's kind of a small podcast that we're doing with just a couple of the staff members from Squad Ops, and we'll be rotating at the staff members every now and then, just so that everyone can kind of have a chance to, show up on the podcast and speak, and you'll get to know everyone on the staff. So here with me today, I have Hyper Evo, Muff, and Vashark, two of which are managers, and Vashark's one of our most prominent admins. And basically, I guess we're going to start off with Hyper. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, name's Hyper Evo. I'm from Arizona. Currently in the Air Force right now. Been doing squad for since January or something like that, or December, and been here since the beginning. So yeah, that's me.
Since the very far beginnings, yeah.
Yes.
Muff.
My name is Muff. I'm 32 years old. I live in Montana. I am a butcher. I've been playing since about January. I'm also one of the originals.
And Shark.
Hello, my name is Vashark. I'm from Texas. I'm 21 years old. I've been playing since the beginning, and I've been playing the squad for, I guess, a little over a year now.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. All three of you have pretty much been here since the beginning of Squad Ops, really, from the day one, day zero, even before in the planning stages.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. We've been up and running for about, I'd say, 4 months, 5 months now. With Squad Ops, but we've been playing with each other essentially since early access. Not early access, but Steam early access release. Okay.
January time.
Yeah, January, about. So I guess the first thing that we're going to talk about is, I guess, the most prominent thing in the squad community right now is version 8. We saw the September recap come out, which kind of hinted at a couple things that might show up, and then even before that, we heard a couple rumors of mortars being in, and just generally, what do you guys think of version 8? What do you guys think is going to be in it?
I am personally not going to hope for anything major except for optimization.
Yeah, that is a big one.
The big one.
And I've seen in certain forum posts that that's kind of what the OWI devs are hinting at. That's what it's focused on. But they are most likely going to introduce some other things as well.
Yeah, I personally, with all these rumors, I'd like to see the implementation of mortars. I mean, it's a big stretch. I doubt it, but man, it'd be real nice. I can't wait to see that be implemented in.
Yeah, I think we're definitely for sure going to see an optimization improvement. How much of an improvement we're going to see, I'm not sure yet. But V8 is pretty much labeled as an optimization patch. I think it's going to be way too soon to see anything like really major, like maybe even the Striker or another faction or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure we'll see that, how OWI does the standard map updates every single version update. So hopefully we see a couple more maps like Yeho or Goro or any of those bigger maps a little more fleshed out, because I think those are the ones that Squad Ops utilizes the most.
Oh yeah, that'd be real nice.
Agreed.
EO has so much potential, and I really cannot wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I really, really hope that we see mortars, though. I mean, that was rumored. Yeah. That's been really rumored. So
freaking awesome.
It's totally not happening.
God,
I don't know, man. I hope. We'll see.
I don't think so.
I have the littlest
hope. I just hope it doesn't make the crashes happen.
Yeah, fatal errors need to be gone. I'm expecting them to fix fatal errors. They need to be gone.
Yeah,
it's been like a while. It needs to be fixed.
And see, with that, we're slowly learning that it feels like it's the 50 cals that are causing the fatals. I mean, with mortars coming, wouldn't that only increase as well?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. I mean, even that rocket artillery, though, that they previewed, that rocket artillery clip, like, it looks like it's functioning. I mean, they already have the technical working.
just slide it in there, boys.
But what happens when they fire it?
Fucking
we saw what they do when it fires it.
It's going to freaking flip the trucks. What's going to happen?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get some kind of goodies in there, though. I wish, because then we'd have to wait, an extra 2 months till we get more content. But I'm pretty sure they'll have something to kind of freshen the game. As far as the current meta for Squad, what do you guys feel like is the most prominent strategy right now in public matches? Not our events, but our public matches.
Without a doubt, cap prevention from the beginning. Rushing to the enemy's early caps and holding them off while you cap as far as you can. And while it is a viable strategy. It really is. I almost would rather they capped those, and I took the caps back and got all those points for capping, and they lost all those tickets.
Yeah, because like
It's
definitely.
because 9 times out of 10, the other team's going to do the same thing that you're doing and rush your back caps. Well, if you take your whole army and just go one cap to the next, there's a good chance you could probably walk right up to that cap that you wanted to take in the beginning anyway.
Mhm.
Well, like
But
you said
again,
too.
that requires good communication and good squad leaders, I guess, competent.
Right.
Yeah,
I think yeah, definitely, Shark. You want to add to that?
Well, I was gonna say, and with the cap prevention, I mean, you also have to make sure that you use vehicles correctly. I mean, I see pubs just run in there and run straight into a BTR and die, and they're like, "Well, we don't know what happened." I mean, come on. And so, as squad leaders, and I'm learning, there's a lot more people stepping up to the plate, which I'm very happy to see. But with it has also come a lot of toxicity, a lot of people who don't want to listen to the squad leads, and that ruins the experience for some. And it causes the match to not go very well. And so, people, I can't stress enough, listen to your squad leaders.
Mhm.
We've started doing that, like
Another-
Shark and I. We join and we just listen to the squad leader. Let him do his thing. If he struggles, we'll throw some advice out there and maybe make suggestions. That's the only way they're going to get better. You can't get mad at people for being new. You can't.
Yeah. Another big point on this too is when you go get those points, you're not actually hurting the enemy team either. They do not lose any tickets.
Yeah,
So
that's a big point
that's-
that
that's
I
a
really
big another
I
thing,
really
too.
complain about. You hear me complain about it all the time. But yeah, when you take a white flag, you don't really gain pretty much anything. And when you take that white flag and then the enemy takes it and it's a capped flag, you then lose 30 or so tickets, and then the enemy team gains 12 or so tickets. So
Yep.
I think there needs to be some kind of balancing for when you take white flags, because as of right now, it's kind of not really advantageous at all to take a white flag on the opposite side of the map, simply because you lose more than you gain if you can't hold it. But one thing I will say about rushing and prevention strategies is that it's I gotta admit it's a lot of fun, because you're
Oh, it
there
is.
alone on the cap
It
against
really
the
is.
entire enemy team, and you're just holding out trying to stall for your guys. So it gets really stressful really fast, but it's a great time. But yeah, definitely seeing that a lot since vehicles have been implemented because of that mobility. But we'll see if they make any changes to the flags or to the vehicles to prevent that.
I kind of do. I kind of want them to slow it down just so that way we can use the fobs again, because you really don't build fobs up anymore because
Well,
of
Oh
this.
yeah.
You
In
know?
Super Fobs, even back when the early days when I played,
Yeah.
Super Fobs killed teams. It sometimes it takes squads out of the games. And see, I don't mind Super Fobs as long as you build it up and you use it as a fob. You don't just sit there.
I'm not talking
and
about a super fob.
Minecraft.
I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about like just your small little fobs with the repair center and something like that. You really don't see that much anymore. They're just laying down fobs and then running off to the points.
I have been seeing that a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
actually something that I kind of thought about, and something we can touch on, is that I feel like fob construction and just fobs in general take too long to become relevant. For example, you can
True,
cap flags
yeah.
and move from point A to point B so fast now, but that the time it takes to invest in building a proper fob is really just inefficient, because as soon as you have the fob finally good to go, the battle is next flag over and next flag back.
Well, and this is where I'll take one out of Muff's book from back even before vehicles happened. Is he would go past all the maps, especially he's co-out for example. He'd start in the U.S. and just go past all of them and get a nice fob line going all the way to the north, even though we wouldn't use them up until later. And then we'd come back and go take the caps. I mean, people would bitch, but man, it was sure it was nice to have it, and they were already built up and everything was perfect by the time
It won games.
we needed them. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, people just need to think ahead instead of in the moment sometimes.
But I've recently changed my thinking too, because fobs are worth 20 tickets now. If I'm 20 tickets, yeah.
20 tickets.
That's twice the 10 they used to be, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so I'm a little bit more, I guess, responsible with my placement.
well,
Not saying I'm putting less of them,
yeah, that's for sure.
but I'm definitely considering the location.
Yeah. Well, what I've noticed that people will build a fob and they'll build one HESCO wall there and then leave. And people got to understand is that gives away your position. If
Yeah,
you're going to have
here's
a
my
fob,
fob,
you
and no
have
one's
to
here.
you have to hide it. Otherwise, you're waving a flag. Hey, we're over here. Come take come take the tickets. So people kind of got to learn that what not to do and what to do.
Yeah, I think there's definitely there's a fine line where you either A, are building the fob to draw the enemy and to contest the enemy, or B, you're just using for a spawn point. And anything in the middle really gets just chopped up, because you can't defend it properly, and then you're getting engaged on by a lot of contacts.
I agree. There is a fine line in there.
There really is.
Yep. As far as V8 and how you think it will change squad, people playing with better performance and, optimizations and quality of life upgrades, do you think that will change at all, or is it just pretty much superficial stuff and won't really affect squad at all?
Well, I think with optimization, I know a lot of people, and I go check the forums, and a lot of people have been complaining a lot about not being able to play. And I know AMD users, they've done their best to try to help them out, and that's just the Unreal Engine, so they're working with what they can. But I think hopefully with more optimization, it'll give them, bring them back a little bit more, so put a little bit more of a life into the community again.
I agree with Shark. I think that the best thing it will do is bring more players. People who have played before and lost the ability due to recent updates requiring more CPU, more graphic usage. This optimization should allow a lot of those AMD users to play at the same level as those on NVIDIA.
At least we can hope. I mean, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I mean, they did say that is supposed to be one of the things that's going to be in this feature, if I remember right. I think it was on their website. I agree. It definitely will bring back some of the old players that were waiting for this optimization. Yeah, I mean, you see the posts all over the place, like they're just waiting for V8 to come in and so they can come back and try it again. However, I don't think it's going to change like how people will play though. Like, I don't think it's going to like affect that much. It's just going to be a better experience, like a smoother one, I'd say. Hopefully.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of my friends that I used to play with back in the very early days, is a lot of them were all excited about vehicles, and vehicles finally came out, and then we had the fatals, and then it was just too laggy. And so a lot of them were like, we love vehicles, but, we can't play. And so they all just left. And so they're waiting for squad to get to that point where, hey, we're going back at it. We're going back to that gameplay that we loved and knew. And I got to say that, even with vehicles, they may have slowed down squad a bit, but it seems just so fast-paced still. It's not the slow tactical shooter that I fell in love with back in the early days.
I think that as far as pacing, that brings up a good topic. Pacing, as far as the pacing of squad and how fast, it takes to end engagements and just in general play the game. What do you guys feel about the pacing? How do you feel do you feel it should be changed? Do you feel it's good where it is? Just what's your opinion on that right now?
Well, like I said, I feel it needs to be slower down, and I also feel like there's more close quarter engagements than it used to be. Firing across Logar Valley was like the greatest rush that I ever had in the game, building up a fob and having those long engagements. Other than now, it's just fighting compound to compound, which is also enjoying, but with a team that's competent, which is sometimes rare to find. You want to take it slower and just, move in and clear a town where it's not just, who could twitch shoot faster, I guess is what I'm trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very situational player, as a lot of people know. Oh, you fucking dog. I'm situational, and with that comes speed and basically concealment. So, as far as I'm concerned, the speed of the game is variable. It's a complete variable every time, and you need to know when to move and how fast to move, which is hard. And a lot of people just want to get in there, find the enemy, and shoot at them. That's not going to work. You're going to run. You'll be running along. I do this regularly to this day. You're just running along trying to get back in the battle, and whop, you take a headshot from your 90 degrees, and you're done. Even though there's friendlies in front of you. You got friendlies up in front of you you're trying to catch up to. Well, you're not looking at the big picture. There's a whole war going on around you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of,
and that way of thinking needs to, if that was prevalent, you would take it a lot slower most of the time. I'll hit the low spots, where there's water running or where water's ran before, and that's where you move. You got to move fast and quick and keep those guys on you. I've found that a lot of times you'll tell guys to move one way and stay low. Well, they're peeking over hills. They're looking up over hills, giving away your position, trying to find the enemy when they're already spotted. So a big thing as a squad leader, I guess, is to keep your guys in line.
Yeah.
Keep them down out of sight, and you dictate the pace. Dictate your own pace.
Hyper, your thoughts on pacing?
See, I'm kind of 50-50 on want it to slow down, but I want to keep it the same speed as it is, like with the rushing to the point. Because I don't always want to rush the points. I kind of want to have it slow down so that way the game lasts a little longer and you're more tactical about it. However, I do like the fact where you have that option to run it really quick, chase those points or chase those caps down, get them as quick as possible, and then just put the people back. And so I'm at a 50-50 with this. I want to, but then I don't want to slow down.
So I'm in a very, very interesting, like, I think squad needs to get slowed all the way down, especially in public matches. Simply because, like, it's just constant contact. Run from here, go to here, go here. Oh, you're fucking constantly there's no, like, okay, we can kind of plan now, we can kind of set up a defense. Let's fucking do this now, fucking do that now. You don't do that now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose if you don't do this right now and you run over here. Like, I feel like it just needs to take a step back, and it just needs to be, all right, squad one, what do you want to do? Okay, all right, we're going over here. This, actual, like, planning. But most of the planning in squad is just squad leaders making split-second decisions and screaming it over the comms almost every single time.
Very true.
Your squad leader never
Get
has
in
a
the
chance
front,
to,
Humvee.
like, yeah, your squad leader never has a chance to, like, sit behind cover and go, okay, so squad one, what's your progress over here? Blah. It's just like, we're fucking getting it. Get on the cap. It's not like, okay, we're gonna hit this cap. When we hit this cap, can you do this? It's very low coordination. More of just, hey, this is the situation right now.
And just imagine when we get the 100-man servers going. I mean, just note this is what 72 top at the moment. Imagine with 100 players, just it's crazy, it's madness. And hopefully with the map sizes, because I know like Yeho's much bigger, and hopefully with new maps rolling out that are massive, that we'll have that time in between going to different places that you can coordinate with each other and plan like how squads should. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to, at least.
Yeah, I feel like those quiet moments really define squad. Because squad is one of the shooters where you can have those quiet moments. Like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Insurgency, CSGO, all of those games is just action, 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 action. But squad is one of those games where, like, if it's calm and it's quiet, you're kind of relaxed, you can line up a bit, and then you get hit with something really fucking hard, and it's an, oh my god, what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's why squad is so beautiful, is because it's like an emotional roller coaster. It's like, oh fuck, fucking adrenaline, and then it calms down, and you're in transit or something, and you're walking somewhere, you're planning something, or you're on defense and you're waiting, and then adrenaline, and then it's just this constant roller coaster. But if you keep it on that high, if you keep it on that adrenaline rush, you'll normalize, and you'll just adjust to that. And you lose out on the special feeling of like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened, because it's happening all the time. So I definitely think that, as you said, Shark, map sizes will play a big defining role in slowing down the game. Because like
as will
maps,
the introduction of new stuff like mortars.
Yes. So that brings up two good points.
You're not going to go rushing in when there's mortar fire raining down on the cap point. You're going to try and isolate the really fire and push onto that first. And,
so like
here's
the first,
Here's something else. This is, I've never really had a discussion about this, and I'd like to right now, on a fob near a cap zone. If you're trying to take a capture point and the enemy has a fob nearby, well, you keep trying to go on, but you keep getting killed, and you just keep meeting the enemy. That's where I revert the attention to the fob.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of times, many times, and I'm not sure if this is new squad leaders or it's just the meta of the game. Everyone is get on that point, cap the point first. Get the point first, we'll go from there. Well, I'm more like, let's make sure we can get the point and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
I've actually noticed some people doing that lately where actually they turned and gone for the fob first. It just happened earlier tonight on Kohat. We were trying to take a capture point, and our squad leader, Karmakut, said, focus on the fob. Let's get that. They're raining down from the southwest. Let's go get them. And we did, and we won.
Yeah, I think it's very important that as a squad leader you realize like the proper point to attack and the proper timing. Especially, if you're attacking a point, you want to hit the thing that's enforcing the point, which would be the fob. So that's definitely something that, squad leaders need to be on the lookout. Is not just get obsessed with the flag, but understand how you can kind of dismantle that flag piece by piece and kind of make things easier for yourself. But yeah, as far as pacing, getting back to pacing, I think that map sizes, and a couple things were interesting with pacing, I think, that could fix it. Number one would be you have a lot of infantry on the map right now. You have a lot of infantry, and the map sizes are so small that no matter where you look, you can almost instantly see someone, you know what I mean? Like on Logar, for example, you look around, you're going to see someone. There's not really any range or any map except for Yuho, Goro, or Kohat where people are like really far away or tucked away. And I think those are going to be the most prominent squad maps coming up, hopefully.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, going back to like the infantry, like you have 36v36 infantry. But now, as Muff said, let's bring in mortars. Let's bring in logistics. Let's bring in transport helicopters. Let's bring in things that aren't infantry related. So now maybe you have one or two, maybe three total infantry squads. And then you have a whole bunch of things that are kind of centered around infantry. But it's not necessarily infantry. You have transport, logistics, indirect fire support, other kinds of support, vehicle drivers, and all this. So now it doesn't feel like, oh my god, it's a massive team deathmatch of 36v36. Now it feels like maybe a more tactical 2 squads versus 2 squads, or 3 squads versus 3 squads with a whole bunch of inner working parts. And I think that'll really help to slow down the pace as well as give people more things to do rather than just shoot at each other. Give them more roles that takes them off the battlefield but still in the action. You know what I mean? And then it'll feel less like, oh, okay, we just shoot these people, walk over here, shoot these people, because now you have other jobs that you can be doing. So I think that'll pretty much wrap up on pacing, unless anyone else wants to talk about pacing.
No, I'm good.
Awesome. So let's move on to Insurgency, and the Insurgency game mode. And basically, what are your thoughts on that? How do you guys feel about the current state of Insurgency?
Currently it's completely underplayed, and I remember the first time when they first rolled out Insurgency, I got to play with Z Trooper and Mother Deer, and they walked me through it, and he was squad leading, and he taught me all the ropes and everything, and it was just the experience was awesome. And then after like a week, it just died, and it gutted me because it's a hell of a game mode, and I'd really like to see more of it, even on our server or during squad ops or something,
Yeah, I agree. It's a very fun game. However, they only have so very few select maps right for it, which kind of I think why people just went away from it.
They definitely need to have Insurgency Gorodok and Insurgency Iho. I love Insurgency on the huge maps. Like Insurgency on Kohat is the most fun I've ever had in this game in a public match, because like it feels like an operation. It feels like a fucking mission. It doesn't feel like team deathmatch or capture the flag or domination. You're literally
have a real target
for the objective. Yeah. You're trying to find it. You're going through compounds. You're going through areas on the map, searching the areas. And then you gotta like breach properly, and you gotta. It's awesome because then the defending team gets to build up really cool fire bases and gets to support their their caches because they have the time to do that. And I just think it's awesome. I think that Insurgency is like one of the best things about this game. But it's so underplayed, and I feel like they haven't really touched up on it recently. They haven't really updated it except for adding a couple Insurgency maps. I think there's something about Insurgency that needs to get tweaked before it becomes a mainstream. Maybe it is more maps. Maybe they are doing the right thing. But as of right now, I feel like it's vastly underplayed. But it's such a great, great game mode. It's such a great game mode. And I hope that, in these next couple weeks, maybe on our server, we'll start putting those into rotation and something like that. But Muff, any thoughts on Insurgency? Maybe something you'd like to see fixed or ideas about it?
I do like it, and I agree with everyone that it's underplayed. With that, they are introducing more maps, and I think it's going to be becoming more. It'll popularize. I think it's a good change up too.
Definitely a fresh experience every
instead of just a running gun.
Even territory control is a little bit of a refresher sometimes. I mean, it's not much of one, but it's just like I don't know. It's kind of my warm-up map sometimes, or warm-up game mode, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I guess finally here, the final topic we'll touch on really is any tips you have for players. What are the top 3 things that if someone came up to you and say, I'm having trouble playing squad, I can't find the players, I don't know what I'm doing. What would be the first top 3 things that you could
get a 1440p monitor?
Jeez. At least have decent frames. I used to play, what was it, on a 750 and it was just I was getting 20 frames. I stuttered, and I just recently upgraded, and it's wonderful again. I can play squad, and having the right equipment in order to play it, without stuttering or anything along that line, as well as just being vigilant. Pay attention. The smallest movement could really give away someone's position, and just listen to your squad leads. Teamwork is really what wins at the end of the day.
I got a big one. Stop and look. Just stop. Everyone
I
always
say
wants
that.
to keep pushing forward. You're coming up over a hill. Get a little view and stop. Just stop. Don't even move your mouse, and just glance with your eyes. You got a good field of view across that hill. Look for any slight movement or anything.
That's a very good tip. That's actually one that I use as well, is literally just take your hands off the keyboard, and when you keep your reticle still, you can see movement. You look for that movement on the screen, and that'll draw your eye, and you'll be able to find players like that a lot, very very easily, because
Especially when
movement
you're on
draws your
Fool's
eye.
Road.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Fool's Road, everybody knows it has a hard time seeing each other. But you just, like you're saying, just stop, lay down, crouch, look. Just look. You'll see the movement.
Yep. Any tips for medics, Hyper? Since you're pretty well known as in the medic community of squad as being one of the better medics out there. You have any tips for any of those medics out there that want to kind of improve on their strategy or gameplay?
Mainly, like, I know a lot of people say use smoke. Honestly, I don't like using smoke because that just gives your position away, and they're just going to fire blindly into that smoke. If you're going to use smoke, throw that shit like way down the fucking line. Don't just throw it right in front of the people, because you're just going to get yourself ended up dead. But if you're able to like get to the person while you're still in cover, don't even worry about the smoke. Then pick them up, take your time.
That's a very good
You
point.
really need to assess the situation. Like, don't just rush over to the guy. Take your time moving up to him. That's
the reason
just,
why I'm
you're
not
just
a
gonna
medic.
die.
Yeah, so let's touch on this real fast because you brought this up. So smokes. A lot of people don't know how to use smokes.
They don't.
So
Notice.
there's two ways you use smokes. One is concealment. Second is marking. Marking smokes aren't really being utilized right now, so let's just not talk about that. But we'll talk about concealing smokes. So smokes, when you want to conceal something, let's say you're a medic like Hyper, and let's say someone in front of you goes down. You do not pop the smoke directly on that person's
Please
body.
don't.
You want to pop it
to get shot.
as close as you can to the enemy. So imagine yourself as the enemy firing at that body or firing at, the medic. If a smoke lands further away from you and on top of that body, you still have all this vision that you can see because the smoke is far from you. But now imagine I'm shooting at that medic, but the smoke lands right in front of my feet. Now my entire front has been smoked off because I can't see anything because that smoke is now billowing to the left and right of where I'm looking. So the key thing about concealing smoke is to get it as close to the enemy as possible.
Yeah.
Now-
Don't put it towards yourself.
Yeah, there's one caveat to this, which is essentially long-distance engagements and smoking for long-distance engagements. Long-distance engagements, I'm talking about 200, 300-meter engagements where, throwing the smoke to the person is not really realistic because they're
And it's really not gonna do
200 meters
anything.
out there. And at that point in time, it's okay to kind of find a good distance at which you want to pop the smoke. But once again, don't pop it right on top of you. Throw it maybe 10, 15 meters out and try to imagine where that smoke's going to go. You want to get the smoke in between, not on top of. Especially, you see this a
Honestly-
ton with fobs. I'm sure you guys see it
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta love it when you're trying to heal someone, and I say, "Hey, get a smoke out," and they throw the smoke literally at my head.
See, and that's the thing. Don't tell him to throw a smoke out. Just don't use a fucking smoke at all. Seriously.
Well,
Jesus, I
I've
hate
been doing is
unless the
I-
enemy's like right there near you, then don't use the fucking smoke. Because if they're just capping off from a distance, there's
They're
no
just gonna
point.
keep
There's
putting
no
shots
point.
through the smoke.
Yeah, and they're just going to keep that reticule right on the enemy's dead body. So
Well-
if you throw that smoke up, they're just going to still be concentrated right there.
What I've been doing is that I'll use the smoke as a diversion because, like you said, they will fire randomly at
Yeah.
it or start pushing it.
Exactly,
and so I'll
yeah.
throw it if I'm healing
Yeah, you do that
someone.
one
I
too.
throw it like fucking 10 meters to my right,
Yeah.
and just go to doing what
That's
I'm
a
doing.
good point. That's a good
All right,
point.
here's
Yeah.
another
a
way
good
to
point.
smoke. I use smokes a lot of the times under fire. When you're under fire, I'll just throw a smoke some random location. They're going to watch the trail of that come from your body. That will direct their fire to you
Yep.
and give
You have
your
to be careful with
squad
that as
mates
well.
an opportunity to get away. If you're behind a wall, just stay there. It's worked so many times where you guys can just flank around because they're
Yeah.
shooting at you because they saw the smokes come flying over that little wall right there. And I mean, they're going to be looking there. You can crawl away for a minute and get up and run around a building and shoot them while they're still looking there because they haven't seen you appear yet. Everyone expects everyone to just go straight up from where they threw it. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Honestly,
well, it does for most people. But
honestly, as a medic, when I'm using my smoke, I'm using it for when we're advancing. I'll throw out my 3 smokes in a line from left to right, so that way the other squad members with me can advance.
Called a smoke curtain.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'll do it. I don't even care where the smoke lands in that situation. Unless you're moving, like Hyper said, if you're moving, smoke curtain is great. But if you want to draw attention, let them see where the smoke, exactly where it's coming from. And if they can't hit you, then what good are they going to be doing by looking at you?
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess going over smokes, just to recap, is A, don't think first, do I want to throw a smoke? Do I not throw a smoke? 2, if you're throwing the smoke, make sure it's closer to the enemy than to yourself. Imagine where that smoke's going to billow. And 3, if you're in a fob, never throw smokes inside the fob, because all you do is blinding yourself.
You're messing yourself up.
And they're on the outside, and they're probably looking in, going, "What the hell are they doing?" Because your whole base now is just smoked, and you're walking around and you can't see anything.
And honestly, they're just going to start throwing nades in and just fucking don't do it. One more thing with me.
A lot of this is stuff people already know too. They just need to hear it.
I hope they know.
Believe it. I think.
It doesn't seem like it, but I hope they know. Another thing is when you're reviving a person, direct that guy in front of you. Direct them. Tell him what to do. When he gets up, don't. And I know they do this all the time. And if you're that person being revived, don't do this. Don't automatically turn around and look at the other player that's reviving you. Keep looking where you got shot at, or listen to the medic tell you where the enemy fire is coming in, and keep an eye on that area. If all you're going to do is just get each other killed, you're because the medic's out there bandaging you up. He's not going to have a gun out. You being the person in front, getting revived, you're going to have your gun out. So help the medic out, please. Yeah, stress that enough. I don't know how many times I have to yell at people. Don't look at me. Turn around. Look at this area. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm not shooting at you.
Also, when the medic says, "Hold on," that doesn't mean give up right as they get to you. I mean, check your maps.
Yes, you have 3 minutes. So this way, you have 3. When you first go down, you have 3 minutes before you die. Then, on top of that, let's say I get to you within 2 minutes. You still have 1 more minute. I patch you. That adds another 2 minutes to your time. So now you're back up to 3 minutes before I can have to get you up.
Yeah, so I've noticed recently
people
are more quick to give up than sit there and wait for a medic. I mean,
So
I almost feel like that the medic role is just slowly leaving.
So here, this has to do with the fast-pacedness of squad and the area it's in right now. Yeah, is the fact that when you go down, most players will just auto-revive because the fob's nearby. It's a 5-second wait rather than the minute for the medic. I feel like if there was maybe less fobs or, more time on the rally, and there's more incentive for you to wait there for the medic.
Or
right now...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but right now it's mostly, like, even I do it. It's a time game. Like, I'm making calculations in my head of, like, what's going to be faster? Am I going to get on the field faster if I spawn now, or am I going to spawn faster with the medic? And I feel like that's a major problem, that they need to completely just make the medic the first choice, Make the medic.
Yeah.
Unless the medics go down, then you spawn on the rally, or then you spawn on the fob. But right now it's just a calculation game of, can I spawn the rally now, or can I spawn the fob? And it's kind of making the medic role extremely...
irrelevant.
Pisses me off is what it does. But no, I totally agree. What they should do is probably speed up the time that it takes to patch and heal, really, not to where it takes so long to get that going.
Right, to respawn, right?
Yeah,
I'm not positive, but there's most likely going to be a remap of the keys too, so you can hit a button and pull out your med pack instead of your bandage. They'll have each individual button. I'm not sure. I
don't think
they will, because I remember somebody asking this before on Reddit, and I know Karma just did one too, but there was one before that, like a couple months ago, and I remember the devs coming in and stating that they're not going to do this because it's going to cover up your whole keyboard. So think about it with the medics. You have 3 smokes, right? 2 the same, 1's different. Number 4 keys are smoke. No, hold on. No, listen. 1 is your gun. 2 is your hand pistol. 3 doesn't get used because that's slated for grenades. The 4th will be the white smoke. The 5th will be your orange smoke. The 6th is going to be your patches. The 7th is going to be your dang badge, or
Bandage.
bandage, and then 8's going to be your shovel. Think about now. Put your hand on WSD and try to move your fingers over to there.
No. But here's what I'm proposing. I'm proposing that keep all the smokes on the same keybind.
Oh well, yeah.
But just add one more keybind.
I see what you're saying.
Medic pack.
Problem with that too, they said that they would have to go in and remap every single character. There's a reason why 3 is not utilized. It's because they have to go in and re-key every single character.
I didn't know that.
I wish
faction.
we could custom.
It's not just one character or like just one team either. That's every faction they have to do. So think about that. That's a lot of maybe later on down the line they will. However, I'm pretty sure that's not their priority.
That actually encourages the medic to remain cool and calm under the situation and switch.
Make sure you're hitting the right
weapons
key.
or items accordingly. That's actually
and honestly,
makes sense, I guess. Hey, considering that they'd have to remap everything.
5 for your bandages is right next to R, and sometimes I do this and I'll hit the freaking dang reload button, and it pisses me off. I'm like, shit.
Now I have to bring this up since we're talking about bandages and stuff. Has anybody else had the bug where you can't fully like I'll bandage and I'm like, all right, ready to pull up my gun, ready to go, still bleeding. Like, god damn it! And I've bled out on a couple occasions because it appears the bandage and it just I gotta sit there and hold the button for fucking 20 seconds. I don't
think that's a thing, a bug. I think that's literally you have to bandage twice sometimes depending on the wound where you're getting hit at.
I don't know.
I really think that's what that's for.
No, I don't think so. Because
I
it
don't
never
believe
wastes
so.
that other bandage. It doesn't use 2 bandages. It just uses 1.
No, there's times where I had to bandage 2 people twice.
I think it's a glitch.
Tell them to stop getting shot.
I don't think there's localized damage yet. I know there's
I don't think it's
if you get
localized.
shot in the head like that, it's a one-shot kill. But I don't know if it's like if you get shot in the chest, it takes 2 bandage. I don't know if they've gone that.
I don't know.
Bring in Ace to the squad now.
Now I've had the situation where I bandaged myself, but it still wouldn't stop bleeding. Or I'm sorry, not bandaged, but I couldn't pull up my bandage at all. I've had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Or my patch, anyway.
Well,
that sucks.
Just small bugs like that really do irritate some people, probably myself included.
Yeah.
But I know the devs got a lot on their plate, and I do my best to not complain, at least like a lot of people do on the forums.
Right, it's just quality of life stuff is what we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, I think that'll pretty much wrap up that segment unless anyone else wants to throw in a couple final short tips for anyone. Anyone have anything they want to close out with?
Suppressive fire, please use it properly.
If you're going to make a squad, make a squad. Don't make a squad. Let everyone join and then leave. You want to trigger the Muff Bandit? That's one way to do it.
No, that really triggers me too, because then you got somebody who doesn't even want a squad lead as a squad leader now.
Yeah.
And then it's just don't do that. Don't be a douchebag and do that, please.
All right, that'll pretty much wrap it up for episode 1 of the OpsCast. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Hyper-Evo, Muff, and Vashark for joining us as well. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.